I'm here in the glorious Lake District in the northwest of England. Really looking forward to the challenge I've set myself for tomorrow, which is to walk around the Ullswater Way. The Ullswater Lake is the second largest lake in the Lake District. It's actually 8 miles in length. And to do the complete circuit of the lake, it's 22 miles. And I'm planning it's going to take us about 10 hours, there or thereabouts. So what I've done is actually put a map together. I'm going to bring the map out and I can show you the route that we're planning to do. So the route we're going to take tomorrow is that we are starting at Pooley Bridge and we're then heading in this direction, which is a kind of westerly direction on the south side of the water of Ullswater. Going down here, the main first point we're heading for is Cross Dumont Farm, which takes us away from the edge and takes us close into the fells. And in fact, we will then pass the fells, which is referred to as Arthur's Pike, along here, and the main objective is Howtown. From there, round Halling's Fell, which is a good viewpoint, continuing down with the main objective being Patterdale. So all the way down to Patterdale. From Patterdale, we're heading over to Glenriddin. At Glenriddin, there is another landing point. We're actually going to hopefully stop for a cup of tea in one of the cafes there. And then we're mainly heading for Aira's Force. And we just stay quite close to the road on the pathway there. It's fairly flat all the way until we get to Aira Force. When we get to Aira's Force, we're crossing the footbridge there, but there is a gorgeous waterfall which we hope to capture. And then we're going round the edge of Galbarra Park Fell, and we've gained some height to go through Swinburne's Park, which is a woods, and then we're heading over to a campsite called the Quiet Campsite. We go through the Quiet Campsite on the road, on the edge of the road, and then over some fields, mainly then really heading in a downward direction all the way, obviously, back to Pooley Bridge, where hopefully we'll have a deserved pint. See you tomorrow. So in the distance we can see Pooley Bridge landing stage for the ferry. To the right of that is in actual fact probably about a quarter mile along you actually come to Pooley Bridge, which is where we've started. Pooley Bridge is at the easterly end of the lake of Ullswater, because we are now doing the Ullswater Way. Further along the lake, as you will be heading in a westerly direction, you can nearly see the end of the lake in the distance, but we're currently heading towards the campsite between those trees, and then beyond that campsite we're heading towards a farm called Cross Dumont. It's at that point we will move away from the lake and move along the edge of the fells as we head towards Howtown. So we've just come up from the south side of Ullswater and we're now heading towards Howtown, what you can see if we look over to the further to the south is that we've now got Arthur's Pike that we're following along the edge of, and we're now going to be heading in that direction. Arthur's Pike will be the fell that is getting towards the end of the high ground for High Street, so an area called High Street, and that is the Roman road from Windermere to Penrith, and that's probably about 22 miles. The good old Roman legions would have walked across those high heights, and we'll see more of them as we move between Howtown and Patterdale. Right, so let's head now towards Howtown. So in the distance we can now see Ullswater, and just over there, the peak that's immediately in front of us is Hallin Fell, and below Hallin Fell is Howtown. So the steamer on Ullswater actually stops at Howtown, and quite a few people will actually climb to the top of Hallin Fell, because then they can actually see both ends of Ullswater and get really good views. Arrived at Howtown now. Probably been walking about 4 miles, and as you can hear, we're actually by the edge of the lake, and immediately behind me we've got Howtown Hotel, also Steel Knot is up there in the distance, and to the other side of Steel Knot is the valley that will take you through to Angletarn. And Angletarn is a beautiful spot, and not surprising, lots of people do wild camping there. So if you're interested in wild camping, good place to go. It is a secret though. So we're now going to head off to Patterdale. That's about 4 miles further on, and that'll take us to the end of the lake. Okay, let's get going. So we finally arrived in Patterdale, which I'm really thankful for. That means we're probably about halfway in terms of the route. And it also means we're at the far end of the lake, so we're at the east side of the lake, and now we're heading over to Glenriddin, which is about a mile away from here. I'm hoping I can grab a cup of tea and cake then as well. We've now arrived at Aira. We actually have a map here. That's obviously always helpful, and yeah, you can roughly see on there, you can see the lake. We're heading up, it probably only a quarter of a mile, little walk up and down. So let's get walking. So as you can see, we've finally arrived at Aira. Isn't that magnificent? It only takes a little while just to get here from the car park, so if you do go and fall for driving rather than walking, then it's a simple little day out. But honestly, we've enjoyed the walk, and we've now probably got about 6-8 miles or so to get to Pooley Bridge. So Let's go! So we've just finished our little detour to have a look at Aira Force, and as you will see from the signs here, we're now back on the familiar route of the Ullswater Way. So we're going to head off in this direction towards Galbara. So just on the side of the fell there, we have the memorial seat, which from what we understand was put in place in 1905. Then we can now look down the lake going back towards Glenriddin, and then we can follow the lake in this kind of direction, and in the distance where the fell goes down into the lake, round that corner is actually Howtown, and we're now heading across these fields essentially to get towards Pooley Bridge. That's our kind of next major point that we're heading towards. So we finally arrived at Pooley Bridge Inn, having completed the Ullswater Way. Finally got to the well-deserved point, particularly deserved having done 22 miles in 10 hours. So best of luck to your attempt. Cheers.